Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry for the long break. I've been pretty busy recently, but we have a video today on artifacts. So first I'll be going over the basics, and then I'll show you each of the highest tier artifacts in the game and which heroes I think they should be equipped to. So artifacts are basically an extra piece of equipment for your hero, but they also provide unique stats depending on their rarity. The main difference between equipment and artifacts is how they are leveled. With equipment, you can increase the rarity and level through the blacksmith by combining pieces of equipment with gold, but artifacts cannot increase in rarity. Although, to increase the star level, you simply need to feed it other artifacts. Also, for your information, if you go over the level limit, it returns the extra in gold dust, which can be used the same way as feeding an artifact. Now that we know what artifacts are and how to level them, let's talk about how to get an artifact. Well, for one, you can get the shards from idling at higher stages. It requires 30 shards for a random purple artifact and 50 shards for a random orange artifact. Secondly, you can buy shards from the guild shop, but it's expensive and we do not recommend it at all. And the last way is through event rewards, such as Tavern and Fortune Wheel, I believe, and these usually give the best artifacts we've seen in the game. Because artifacts are one of the only ways to customize your hero, they are extremely important. In the endgame, when two players have the same hero, they most likely are max leveled, equipped with full red gear, max tech, and have the same aura buff. The artifact allows each player to increase what stat they feel is the most important to that hero's role on the team. And luckily, we have been provided a list of all the artifacts in the game by the developers. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the stats on these artifacts. And for this video, we'll only be looking at max leveled orange artifacts, since we're aiming basically for the end game. First off, we have the anti-class artifacts. These artifacts each give 1280 attack, which isn't much, but more importantly, they do an insane 42% more damage to a specific class. These artifacts are amazing for den stages that have like 6 of one hero, or against a co-op or guild boss that you specifically know what hero you're up against. And although getting 6 of each of these artifacts, one for each hero on your team, would take a really long time, it will eventually happen. So this is a main reason why having a defense team loaded with just one class, even though that hero may be really strong, it doesn't matter. They will get destroyed by teams that have a lot of those artifacts. There isn't really a specific hero I would recommend to use these artifacts on, since you basically equip it depending on who you're fighting against. So let's move on to the next set of artifacts. And these are a little bit different because they give a very unique set of stats, so I'll go over each one of them really quickly. High of Heaven is probably the worst one here, because we usually like to use artifacts, like I said, to customize your hero and make them good at one thing, and this artifact is just generally good on any DPS hero. Although the hit rate isn't really necessary right now, the attack is very nice. Windwalker looks pretty lame initially, with 10% HP and 42 speed, since 10% HP isn't huge, but the 42 speed can make quite a difference since there's no other way for heroes other than clerics to get more speed. So I would recommend using this artifact in situations where getting heroes skill off first is crucial to your team composition. Moving on, Scorching Sun is amazing for tanks. So reduced damage is one of the best stats in the game, and HP on top of that just makes them even more tankier. Dragon Blood may be one of the best artifacts for damage dealers. It'll make a really big difference because true damage is going to increase your damage output on this hero by a lot, and it's generally good. Lastly, Sound Step is kind of a mystery right now because I'm not sure exactly how much 240 energy is, but my gut is telling me it's a lot. Someone's going to have to let me know if they have it, if the energy really makes a big difference. So the last set of artifacts are the faction exclusive ones. Each of these comes with an extra stat that can only be gained when equipped to a hero from the required faction. Initially you would think that, oh boy, I just put these on my team's hero from that faction. So say I have Vivian and I got the Alliance faction, I just put that on her. But this isn't actually the case. It's quite obvious that the developers have made these artifacts for specific heroes in each faction. So I will go ahead and give my opinion on who I think they are. Knight's Vow. This is 100% the Saw Machine artifact. He was already awesome at killing clerics. Well, here's more damage. And more skill damage, which he also has increased. Primeval Soul, although I don't have this one, I think it's safe to say that it works best with Medusa, since it comes with crit, and she's the only Horde hero with innate crit in her kit. Also, by the way, there's no Horde assassins in the game, so. Queen's Crown. This one's a little bit more interesting since it's basically Windwalker, but with extra crit. If you consider crit, then Centaur, Demon Fighter, and Luna want this. Soul Torrent, it's like the Eye of Heaven, but with extra skill damage, so it's good on most everyone that isn't a tank for undead. But Reaper stands out specifically as a hero that would really like this. Then Gift of Creation is the Heaven artifact, and of course they get true damage because, best faction in the game. So this rune is amazing. Like, if you have it, any Heaven hero will want it. It's going to make them even stronger than they already are. Eternal Curse. It's the same as the undead one, Soul Torrent. So I'm pretty disappointed with this. But hey, I mean, Frey and Monkey King, they always want more skill damage, so go ahead and put this on them. Well, that was all for artifacts. Sorry for the long video, but it has been a while since I've made one. So if you want to see the artifacts for yourself, check out the tier list in the description. There's a link to that there. Thank you. Team TapTap signing off. Peace.